do you prove the existence of the Most High? Okay. Question. Perfect time. What was the question? Perfect time.
Say it again. What was the question? Who asked the question? What's the question, brother?
How do you prove the existence of the Most High in the Elohim?
All right. First of all, when you introduce the word Most High, in our Roman time, we have several different languages we have to deal with. For instance, in the ancient Nuwaupu, which is called cuneiform today, they use the word Anu, when on high. By the time the Hebrews got it, it became Eliun. By the time the Syriac or Muslims got it, it became Al-Aliyu. Right? It changes accordingly. And what it implies is that the L, and you can do that in, let's say, if you looked at it in levels of height, then you say the Most High is that being that is what? The highest, which puts him in levels with other beings. So in order for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Muslims say, to be the Most High and Aliyu, then there must be other beings that he was weighed against to attain that position. You follow that? That's what I try to explain to the Muslim world. When they say Allah al-Aliyu, one of his attributes, Allah is the Most High, Allah is the highest. You have to say highest of who or what? How do you become the highest of something unless there's something compatible to you or something that was a challenge to you and you have what? Overcome it. You understand what I'm saying? So when Melchizedek, the way the Bible translates the name, met Abraham, right? He taught Abraham about El in the Torah. Right? The Most High, the highest. Because Ibrahim or Abraham or Abraham, see the language game again, was already worshiping as a Chaldean. He already had a religion. He already prospered, because in the Torah or Tanakh, they tell you that he fell on his face and he prayed before those Hittites, when he was buying a tomb for his wife. Right? You follow that? So he understood prostration already. So he understood prayer already. But Melchizedek had to come to tell him, get back to the worship of Anu. Now why would I say Anu when they use El in the Tanakh or the Torah? Because Melchizedek was not a Hebrew. When Melchizedek was speaking, he was speaking as MalachiZodoq-El. He was speaking as in Hebrew, we say Malach, an angel who is Sidar, who is righteous or justified, who deals just. So he wasn't speaking as a Hebrew or an Israelite or a Muslim. He was speaking as a Chaldean. You follow that? Meaning he was speaking to Abraham, who your Bible says was a Chaldean or of Chaldea. They also say he was an Aramean. What they use in the Tanakh is the word Syrian. But if you look into the Hebrew of it, you'll find the word Aramean, of Aram from Genesis 10. So all these people were speaking one of the dialects that was given to man. You with me? And so he would have been speaking to Abraham before Abraham became a Hebrew. The word Hebrew, simply Ivrit, or in Arabic, Ebra, means to cross from one place to another. To cross over the Tigris-Euphrates. He was going to the furthest point of our land. When I say our land, let me make myself clear. Because that's a long story for Most High to bring it down to mortals. Our land extended from the other side of the Persian Gulf, coming westward all the way to California. You follow? There was no Red Sea or Reed Sea. Right? Bahra, we call it Bahra Ahmar. There was none there. There was no Atlantic Ocean. Continental drift and continent drift resulted in land masses moving. Thus, there was no Africa. There was no separation called South America. All those pieces of land, when pushed back together, will give you one bland spot of water in the center. And that bland spot today is off the coast of what they call Bermuda. You with me? Which was all part of what the ancients called the Yucatan. Beneath the Bermuda is now what they refer to as the Bermuda Triangle. A magnetic field. That was the capital of our kingdom. That which took place in Sumer and Egypt, and this land, the land of the frogs, some call it a maxim, from the word Mexico. That's just one of the names. All that was called Genawa. Genawa is what we call it. And we sectioned it off into parts based on the people that were there. I don't want to go too far from Most High, so I'll come back around to that part later. So when Abraham started his journey, he encountered a man who the Bible cannot account for genealogy speaking. A man called Melchizedek. The man is also mentioned in Moses' time. The man is also mentioned in the book of Hebrew in Jesus' time as being after the order of Melchizedek. You follow? This was, of course, an incarnated being. We do believe in reincarnation and incarnation. You follow? Now, Muslims will tell you they don't believe in reincarnation. Christians will tell you they don't believe in reincarnation, right? But then they'll tell you Jesus died, went to heaven, and he's coming back. Talk to me then. That's not reincarnation, what is it? Jesus died, went to heaven, and came back. Lazarus died, went into a tomb, was wrapped, buried, spiced. Jesus came 3.5 days later and called Lazarus back to life. Back in the same hard-no body. What is that? That's reincarnal body. Reincarnation. You hear me? All right, so we have a being, Melchizedek, who reincarnates from body to body. He comes at a crucial time amongst his own. Raised up for you from amongst you. But the key word in that last one was out of the east unto the west. You with me? All right. Now, certain groups of people would like to make you think their leader or their teacher is that man when they were born here in America.
Make it plain.
Whether it be Sandsville, Georgia, or North Carolina, or Jamaica, West Indies, and I've named 3 prominent brothers who I love dearly. They were all born here. And I had to do this book, postgraduate lessons. I had to do this book, Sheikh Dawood versus Master W.D. Fard. Because they at one point were saying that this man, Master Farad Muhammad, Fard Muhammad, Fahd Muhammad, Fard Muhammad, Farid Muhammad, or whatever way they want to spell his name, was the Most High amongst you, the wisest amongst you. And because they said he came from the east, he started to fit the mold of the prototype that would come to save his people, or save those which were lost. But it said in Matthew, you'll come out of the east unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. He be born there and come here. I was born in Nubia, tried and proven. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the Muslims call upon, while we were in the school of Islam, and I'll address that too, if I get time, put me in a position where I was the most hated dark-skinned, olive-toned Islamic teacher in America. I was the most criticized. I was the most critiqued. They were asking me questions about who makes up my bed, who cuts the lettuce in the pot in my house for my salad, where's my mother, who is my mother, where is my father, who is my father, where were you born, when did you take your shahada, how long have you been a Muslim, are you Sudanese, are you American, are you Dr. York the disco singer, are you Imam Isa, are you Rabboni Yeshua, do you call yourself Christ, do you say you are God? Questions, you understand? They didn't dare ask any of the other leaders. I ain't never heard nobody yet ask Minister Louis Farrakhan about his private life. But me, I was put to test, tried and proven. And I had to prove it by producing documents. So the Sunni Muslims went out and said, oh man, we know him. That's Dr. York. His name is Dwight. He was born in Brooklyn somewhere. We remember that guy. So I went on back to Sudan, Beledi, وأخذت شهاداتي ولدي, and got my birth certificate. Had to go back through the files and hunt it down. Because I was born in 1945 when they did everything by hand. There was no computers. I can't tell you what I had to go through the Hall of Records. But as an Ansar, the most recognized clan in Sudan, it made it easy. And when Sayyid Sadiq, the prime minister standing beside me, it made it a little easier than it would have cost you. You follow? So I went and got the birth certificate and I printed a book and I said, here's my birth certificate in the book. Oh, he made that up. It got the seal of Sudan on it. He got the signature of the man who approved it. When I had to get, because you have to get a photostat copy, not giving you the original, they give you with a seal. Oh, he made that up. I know, because I know a brother named Luqman, who was in State Street in 65 or 65, when he took his shahada. I was there. I had to go into the files of records, and Sheikh Daoud was dead now. Had to get back in touch with Mother Khadija, his wife, at the Islamic Mission of America, 143 State Street in Brooklyn, and get inside the files and pull out my identification card. Can you stay with that? And it showed June 12th, 1957, Sheikh Daoud gave me my card. Most of the guys who were asking me the question were babies at the time, breastfeeding. When I was in State Street, under a Moroccan born Sheikh Daoud, as we called him, born in Morocco. No, they say Sheikh Daoud was born in the Caribbean. That's why I put these books out, because he gave me the information. You with me? Because I had to establish in this latter day and time who the Most High is amongst us. That Most High is like the Freemasons say, the highest degree of information. In the Islamic world, they say the Imam is the smartest person in the mosque, who knows the most Quran, and in their case, the most Hadith or Sunnah, who's best at fiqh, Sharia, a whole bunch of nice, fancy Arabic words. Whoever knows the most becomes the Imam of Imams, which would make him the highest of the Imams. The Grand Master, the Grand Potentate, becomes the highest figure in the lodge under the Djedi, which stands for the Grand Architect of the universe. And the Grand Master, who stands in the lodge with two seats beside him and sits on that throne, becomes a representative to you of God himself in person. That's why they call him what? The Grand Master of the lodge. So the Most High has to verify, to prove that they have what? the most knowledge, the most wisdom, and the most understanding to give you an overstanding. Not just knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I saw knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I heard knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I listened to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding being taught to my people for years. And I thought it was necessary. Because it is necessary to go to kindergarten before you go to the university.
That's right.
It was all necessary. You follow? But to verify the existence of the Most High to you and to me is a board trip. You want it? It's a board trip. Stand up, please. You got the names, El-Ayun and Atum, right? And Nu. The board trip starts with 3 levels. This is level 3, 2, and level 1. This level here is earth. I'm sorry. This level here is sea. This is earth. And what is this going to be? Sky. You want to say heaven, I know. The word heaven is a Latin word, haven. It also implies a docking point in a marina. This is why in Islam, the first thing that was said to Muhammad 1400 years ago was, Ya Muhammad, Iqra. Iqra, read. The first thing you find in the book of St. John's is, in the beginning was the Word. You know? And the first thing that happens in Genesis is a conversation. They don't understand. The key to unlocking all your problems is in language. And all the leaders won't take time to master the language. Something is key. We're going to touch with this a little. Y'all with me? Yeah. Now, in ancient Egypt, we have Shu, right? We have Geb, and we have Nun. With that, that's the deity of the sky, the deity of the earth, and the deity of the underworld, which becomes, when the Greeks stole it and changed Tahit, which is Thoth, over to Hermes, they also changed all the names. And they changed this one here to Zeus, this one here, the earth, the sea to Poseidon, and the earth, which they call the earth, Hades. Hades, which is the word they use for hell. Zeus, the deities in the sky, and Poseidon, the deity beneath the water. You with me? If you want to walk it now, I'll walk you right across the desert. If you want to walk it. But it's work. And I want you to try to prove it wrong. That's my job. Alright? I can take this out in many cultures and give you many different names. But that would lose you and waste time. What I want to take you to is the reality that every culture and all cultures acknowledge this state here, the Most High. The Greeks call it Theos. That's the word in your Bible, in Greek, for God. Theos. And it's running synonymous with Elohim, the way they use it. Because they have Kurios also, for Lord. You got that? There's Theos, that's the Greeks. The Elohim is the more modern version taken from Nephilion, Hebrew word Nephilah, to come down, Genesis 6. The Nephilah as what we call Nephilians. Or the word Jabbar, from Jabarians, from Gibor, from the mighty ones. Also Gibor used in there, where the word algebra comes from, which goes back before the Muslims, because it's in the Torah, in Genesis chapter 6 as Gibor. So God did not invent algebra, who was just some Muslim. All that happened before Islam. Most of the time when Muslims are telling you about the accomplishments of Muslims, they're talking about pre-Islamic times. They say mathematics was created by Muslims. The cipher was created by Muslims. They're talking about so-called Arabs before the coming of Muhammad. And so it had nothing to do with Islam. It had to do with the Arabs who lived in Arabia before Muhammad was even born. Muslims, since they've been here, hasn't invented nothing but terrorism and confusion, because the religion of Islam confines the mind to the Quran and Hadith. It doesn't open up for science. I've taught Islam for 25 years. أنا أتكلم لغة العربية الفصحى والدرجة كثيرة. ذلك لغتي من أولى إنجليزي. فهم؟ That was my language before English. So these teachers don't have a clue of what's really going on. I can start anywhere you want. But everybody recognizes the Netiru, the Egyptians, the Nephilim, the so-called Hebrews. You follow that? The Theos, the Greeks, the Malachi, the Arabic for angelic beings, or heavenly hosts. You understand?
Understood.
And those beings descended down to earth. When they got here, they came here in what's referred to as a Rooakh or a Rooakh, in a soul or spirit state, an etheric body. The essence of you when you look in a mirror long enough and you realize you're looking from the inside out at your body. If you don't believe me, try it. Stand in the mirror and stare and look at yourself and keep talking to yourself. And you'll get a realization that the real you is on the inside looking out. This body is a bacteria that's plaguing the soul, the essence of you. In your Bible it says, man, what? I shaped man of dust of ground and breathed into him the breath of life, and man became a... The living part of you is called Nefesh Hayim, or Hayat, the life force. Language is key here. You understand me? So you descended down, but before you came down, the beings from above on high, Anu, Inumailish, went on high, said if you stay on earth too long, you're going to lose contact with your divinity. You're going to become lured by the attractions of this physical world. You understand? So two schools of thought exist. The greater and the lesser mysteries. You stay with me?
Come on with it.
Here we go. The greater mysteries teach as Yeshua, Isa, Jesus, Sananda, Tammuz, whatever name you want to give them, or whatever culture again, that your path is back to the bosom of the Father. He says it. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father but by me. That he was merely the chauffeur to the Father. You follow that? But then he said, I and the Father are one. When you see me, you see the Father. And I am not greater than you. And you'll even do greater wonders than I.
That's right.
And I got to go prepare a place for you, that where I may be, you may. So certain men, or women, are destined for a journey from here back to the bosom of the Most High. And certain men and or women are destined to stay here and worship. Some beings are perfecting themselves to become God, and other beings will always worship God. People of the lesser mysteries are the religious people. They worship God in spirit and in truth, away from themselves. People of the greater mysteries are like the uncut stone that's on that side, ashlar, that becomes cut to become a perfect stone. Become a part of the building blocks of the Most High and put it. You with me? Some of you here are of the lesser mysteries, and some of you here are of the higher mysteries. You have people who grab the higher mysteries and play games with them. I heard a brother say, and it threw me off a little bit. He said, Allah means I, so A-L-L-A-H. Now I heard the 5% use it, and I know that they stole it from the Moorish Science Temple, whether they want to admit it or not. It's all right with me. But the sad thing of it is, do you want the truth or you want me to play the game with everybody else?
Come on with it. Come on with it.
You know, I'm saying that because sometimes when you tell the truth, it's bitter to people. And they get mad at you. They don't really want to hear the whole truth. They want to hear what the man puts in books. And they're real good at referring to white man's books. And quoting his books against anything a Nubian has to say. But I'll take you directly to the language so you can see it, so we can dispel this part of the spell right now.
Come on with it.
You with me?
Come on with it.
This word is say it. Raus. I can write it with the alif, or I can write it with the waw. Sabah. Raus. And it means head in Arabic. This word is darur. Darur. And it means arm in Arabic. This word is rajul, riddle, and it means leg in Arabic, the ancient language, as well as in Hebrew. You got me? Now, if we're saying we are Asiatics, right, and that the mother language was Arabic, correct? And then we make references to phrases like arm, leg, leg, arm, head, and saying that we are right and exact, then that should match up in Arabic, not in English. A new language.
Come on with it.
English didn't even exist back then. So you grab an Arabic name, Allah, and add on English words, arm, leg, leg, arm, head,
Don't make sense.
and sound heavy.
Don't make sense.
You understand? The unification is here. The power to bring all those forces, all those incarnations into one being to come back out and solve the problem, whether you accept me or not. I'll tell you what I mean. That means the abbreviation of that one, darur, for arm in Arabic, is a vet, which is equivalent to a th. And that is a re, or a ra, which is equivalent to an ara. And this would be another ara. And this one would be another th. And this would be another ara. So the word is th, ara, th. Not arm.
Go ahead, Dan.
You with me? These type of teachings must be stopped.
That's right.
Not by force, but by fact. You've got to learn this. So when someone gets up in front of you and pretends to know something, you can say, hold it, brother. That's not right knowledge. That's good information. The kids might like it. It's kindergarten. You let kids in kindergarten play with toys and facts simultaneously. You let them build blocks, in a sense, so they can build the blocks. But it's not facts. And they say something like, Sam, I am Sam. You say, well, okay, you learn English. Now you walk down the street and say, Sam, I am Sam. Nobody would understand what you're talking about. But that's kindergarten level, so you let Dr. Zeus, you see, get in there. Zeus, you see. It doesn't frighten you. But now we are at the end of time, when all the so-called great teachers have taught what they came to teach. They all have so-called finished what they say that everything the Nation of Islam is going to teach has been taught. You understand? Everything that the good brother Nuwaubu himself was here to teach has been taught. The same applies to the gods of the earth, 5%ers, and etc. And as I watch with a keen eye at all the teachings out there, I wait to hear that something new. or that something special that would let me know that another God had incarnated. I want to hear things that would cue in that he is not or she is not trapped in the mind tetrahedron of persons, places, and things. And he's thinking outside of that realm, which would tell me he's a visitor, not a resident. He would do it a little differently. You understand me? I'll do it piece by piece. So this has got to go as old information. I, self, Lord, and Master. I, Anna, self, Nefs, Lord, Rab, and Wa, Master, Mawlana. Okay? I. This is an A. It's an alif. It's not an I, which would come off as an ein, as in the name Isa. Where they write I-S-A in their own books. This is a different letter than the Arabic letter alif. Just like in Hebrew, I write the alif or I write the ein. This is equivalent to the ein, and this is equivalent to the alif, which I'll get into L and Al for the Most High again if you need it. So again we have Ana, I, self, Nefs, Lord, Rab. And that's not Lord in Arabic. Rab comes from the word to sustain. There is no equivalent to L-O-R-D in Arabic. However, in Hebrew, we do have one. Baal. Baal, the Babylonian statue called Lord or Lord. You understand? And then Master, Maulana. All that means is a teacher. So no, the word Islam does not break down to I, self, Lord, and Master. And you left the other A out in Arabic because the word is written like this in Arabic. And that there's a second A, the alif or lam alif. And the word comes from the root word salama, peace, not submission. Submission would be a new word created when they added a shadda to double the L, salam. And if I was playing with my brother, I'd say, taslam, do you surrender? In a headlock? Oh, it could be the other way, he could have me in a headlock. And he'd become tasallam in Arabic. Understand? And he would know, I surrender. Well, you see what I'm telling you, these things? These things is what's keeping us back. These things is what's making the people out there not realize who their Most High is today. In person. The wisest amongst you is to lead you to the Father. Not the wisest amongst you is the Father. I am not my Father. I am of my Father. I am not Jesus. I am not the Messiah. I'm not Isa. Don't let the Sunnis put that crap out there. They need that. Because that's all they know. That's all they know what? That's all they know how to attack. Is the obvious. When I say I'm MalachiZodoq-El or Melchizedek, the Muslims don't have a dialogue for that. So they can't address it, so they say, well, we know him as Dr. York. They can't say, well, we ain't no Melchizedek. What's Melchizedek? What's that in Arabic? They don't know. Nebi Khidir, El Khidir, the green one. Then some Arabs say, oh, that's what he's talking about. No, he ain't that. They said, what did that do? And how do you know that? You know what I'm saying? And then that is blank. This must go. You with me? This is old information. This information was taught to you about us. You understand? Now, one of us is here to teach you what you're supposed to know about yourself. And I'll tell you how it happens and how it happened. All right? It starts up here in another realm. The Quran calls it ilyun. Muslims nowhere in any of their tafsirs, which means explanations of the Quran, have been able to explain what that meant. They all evaded. Oh, it's a place where good records are kept. You say a place like in Makan, a place, and then a place, Makan. So where is this place? It's in heaven. They want to go into mythology. And when you try to confine them to the facts of, so are you saying there is an Allah who was here on earth and created beings with the help of his angels, and then as the Quran says, he left the earth and he went into the heavens to sit on an arsh, a throne? Can you do that with me? They go, yeah. So there is a throne somewhere in heaven where God sits on it? Yes, then God has a buttocks to sit. Blasphemy, they'll yell. But it's fact. You say God is in heaven? I say God is heaven. Because if God is in heaven, then heaven is bigger than God. You with me? And how could heaven be bigger than Allah? But they'll say, who is samawati? He's inside the heavens. So if Allah is inside the heavens, who's the biggest? And if Allah is inside the heavens and the heavens must be bigger than Allah, then Allah is not Hu Akbar. Allah is Akbar, they say the greatest. That's not what the word translates. The word Akbar comes from the word Kabir, meaning big. The biggest or the oldest. So if Allah is Allahu Akbar, then he is the biggest and oldest. You can leave that off. You follow what I'm saying? And how could he therefore be in the heaven? How could Jesus' Father be in the heaven? Wouldn't he be the heaven? Wouldn't he be the all? Wouldn't all things be within him and nothing outside? El-Kulum. And you too should say, I am in the all. And all is in me. Not and the all is in me. But I am a part of the all. The all is a part of me. That's what they're saying. That's taking you to the next level of divinity as a quantum existing being. You follow? All right. So now, these beings, according to your Bible, came down, as we spoke about last week, and was hovering above the water. You know what Genesis says? And the Spirit of God moved upon the surface of the water. God was not moving on the land. God was not standing on the land. God was moving on the surface of the water. You see why the Christians got that Jesus walk on water stuff? Because they had to try to make him look like God. You understand? They want to put his father out of position and put his son in, like all corporations do. It didn't work. Now, but what did it say? Upon the face of the deep. That means the deep is dealing with the sea. You with me? Gotcha. So some beings who were in the sea was looking up at the Spirit of God moving across the water, while land was still boho and toho, as Hebrew puts it, void and without form, and darkness, void and darkness, without form. So the planet was in a dark state because the sun's light could not get through. You follow? And a dust cloud covered the planet. And certain beings called Elohim, which is a plural, in Hebrew, alif, lamet, hey, yad, mim. A plural, beings, these Elo, from where Muslims get Allah, in plural, alahat, in the Quran, gods, they came. You follow? They came and they looked at the condition of this once fertile place. That's why they said replenish, refill. They was going to fill it again. It's like when you have a swimming pool in your backyard. You follow? And you dress it and prepare it in the summer, and when the winter comes, you cover it up and all kind of mildew comes. Come the season again, you got to clean it away, pull the cover off, let the sunlight come in, clean out the pool, get all the mildew and the fungus out, put in fresh water and chemicals to make it usable again. God, you do it every time. You replenish that pool.
All right.
Is that not right?
That's right.
The beings came, the Quran calls them the Malachi, which is Allah, or the Nephilians, or the Neturu, or the Shishonki, or the Kachina, whatever language you want to come from. You want to play Native American, we'll do that. You follow? Came down and saw the conditions of the planet. But a being that was talking was looking from the bottom of the sea, because he said, in the beginning. Right? Let me stop right there. In the beginning. What does the word start with? Be. I'm going to give you all a secret that should be kept sacred. But I'm going to give it to you. You know why I'm going to give it to you? You both say why? Because you've never heard it before. And with all the teachers that's been teaching you for your so-called 400 years of slavery for those who came from Africa and those who are already here, because both of us are sitting here, right?
That's right.
All these so-called teachers are supposed to be bringing you information. They don't have certain keys. Keys that tell you they're standing outside of persons, places, and things.
Right.
Once I say this, it's going to pop up in books, like everything else I say. And nobody's going to give me the credit. They're just going to start, who was Danny and White and all that. The Nubian people, we are Nubian. They never even heard of this again. And I'll explain Nubian if you need it. I'm going to give you a secret here. Beginning. You with me? The first word in the Torah is Bereshith. Say it. Bereshith. Bereshith. The first letter in that word is the Hebrew word Bet. Bet. Equivalent to what you would call in English B. You there? Now let's step out the Torah and step into the Bible of the New Testament. You with me? The first word in the first book of the New Testament, which is called the book of Matthew, is Bibulus in Greek. Say Bibulus. Bibulus. And it means little book. Hey, y'all. Little book. It's a Greek letter for B.
Go ahead,
You with me? The first word in the Quran is Bismillah. And if they say, no, brother, before that, the Tasmiyah, Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim, they say it corrupted, was the fifth revelation of Muhammad. It wasn't the first, but the first was Iqra. I said, all right. The first was Iqra. Someone said to Muhammad, Iqra. And then when he told him what to read, he said, Iqra what? Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So the B is there again. Bismi, in the Arabic letter. You with me?
All right.
The three letters B that has been passing through the scriptures given to you has been controlled by the Magus. The Magus, the Essenes. Today you may call them the Masonic Order or the Freemasons. You follow? They have been protectors of the scripture under the name Knights of Templar for thousands of years. For those who know. And the key number on the back of the dollar bill is what? Say it louder. The key number 13. Say your alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, 13. M. Mason. Meta. Latin word for matter or mother. And son. Ma, son. The protector of Mary and Jesus. The real one. This is information that has been kept secret for far too long from you. Now I want the teachers to see this inflammation. That means God inflame the population with it. That's all. This inflammation. Note it now as the first time you heard it, and note later on your teachers will be getting up and using it and never recognize who the Most High is, who has the most information for this day and time. Note it. You finish this journey. I can't give you all with so much light. There are two Illuminatis. There's the Illuminatis of the amber light, and there's Illuminatis of the green light. You have been the Illuminatis before you initiated them into the order of the Illuminatis. You gave them the amber light. When Michael taught Lucifer, and Lucifer rebelled in the heavens and was cast down here, and was given the right to socialize and walk side by side with the angels. Look in the book of Job. When the angels go back to the heaven, Lucifer's with them again. After all he's done, as a Luciferian, he's still an Elohim. He's just a Wah, not a Yah. Wah and Yah is where they get the word Yahweh from. Yah is the cuneiform for good, and Wah is the cuneiform for disagreeable or evil. Yahweh was Tammuz's name, as he brought the Enlilites and the Inkyites into one family, or Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt into one family, Amun and Rooakh, which goes into another story.
All right. Make it plain.
So these beings, Shu, the heavenly ones, came down to earth. You follow? And mixed in with human beings. And some of them married the daughters of men and produced mighty wise Gebareans, children. Genesis chapter 6. But the claim was that Tammuz, referred to as my spirit in Genesis chapter 6, will not always be with man, for he is also flesh. His days shall be 120. The lifespan of the Elohim is 1,000 years each of your time. But he had to leave at 120. That's Genesis chapter 6. That's not talking about Jesus. My spirit should not always travel man, for he is but flesh. His days shall be 120.
Come on with it.
That's not Jesus. That's the Tammuz that's been assigned to you by the Anunnaki. A name they don't want to talk about. Zechariah Sitchin and these guys are now talking about Anunnakis in this later day and time. Because they knew the ancient ones were coming forth again. They knew that incarnations were going to start happening again. They knew they had to drug you. They had to suppress you. They had to intoxicate you with alcohol beverages. And when that didn't work, as old days, our fathers and grandfathers stayed drunk off of blue. When that was not strong enough to suppress the God in you, you follow? They moved on into heroin. And all throughout the 50s and the 60s, they had us down on heroin. And when heroin couldn't hold us down so we could kick heroin, they came on with a new method, a methadone. Was supposed to kick the heroin and they got you addicted to the methadone. And that couldn't hold us down. So they came out with dust prepared for angels to sprinkle over you.
Come on with it, God.
It was sprinkling angel dust over our neighborhoods. Have us hallucinating, because they knew the power of the hippocampus area in our brain, and that was a contact with the Most High. So they got the hallucinatory part of our brain deadened by drugs. And when you couldn't afford angel dust, and you couldn't afford cocaine, they lowered the price and said, crack it. Penetrate that skull by any means possible. Crack his head open. Eat his brains. And we start burning ourselves out on a pipe with crack. You know what? You're kicking that too. You can't keep a good man down. We have a destiny with our ancestors. Whether you want to call them Egyptians, Moors, whatever you want to call them, we have a date. And when that date comes, nobody can mess with it. Our story, not his story, must be renewed every 25,000 years. His story, that's why they make a mistake and had to correct that in this lesson. But they're giving the devil a history. And the history is only 6,000 years old for him. So why would we have to renew our history after 25,000 years if the devil wasn't here 50,000 years ago? If according to your teachers, he just got here 6,000 years ago, he was no problem. How would we have the devil in Mecca before the devil?